The sleepy town of Idyllwild, California has a very unusual public figure. The local mayor, Max, is charming and friendly, even if he does drool a lot. He's also a dog, because why not? This dog mayor is the result of a very unusual electoral decision in the region, but it's hard to argue with results. Mayor Max just celebrated his re-election as he begins an impressive 5th term as Idyllwild's mayor. This good boy has proven himself time and again to be the best dog mayor the town could ask for, and his reputation is earning him fans across the world. But why has Idyllwild decided to elect a dog as mayor? And what is Max doing that's made him so popular? A beautiful golden retriever, Max is a famous face in the little town of Idyllwild, California. Where some towns may have furry mascots, Idyllwild has taken things further, by making Max their officially recognized mayor. There's no denying that Max is the best canine mayor a town could possibly ask for. He's friendly and affectionate, and loves meeting new people. But why did Idyllwild elect Max to begin with? To make things even more confusing to outsiders, Max's tenure as mayor hasn't exactly been short. He did such a good job upon his initial election that he's been voted in time after time. But why? Perhaps there's a benefit to having a warm, friendly face in public office. Locals feel like Max is approachable, and they know they can trust him to look after their interests. But this isn't the only reason why he initially got elected. Truth be told, getting elected as a dog is much like being elected as a human. Nepotism helps. Max was not the original pet mayor of Idyllwild. That honor belonged to his uncle, also named Max, who passed away in 2013. Prior to 2012, the town of Idyllwild didn't actually have a mayor. Not all towns require one, and things had been running smoothly in Idyllwild until that time. But all this soon changed, and for the better. It was decided that 2012 would be the birth of a new era for Idyllwild, as the town had its very first mayoral election. But there was a catch. Not just anyone could apply. A mayoral candidate had to be a local resident, but could not be a human. Not allowing humans sounds like a pretty smart rule for any election. It was decided that Idyllwild would prefer a mayor that was either a cat or a dog, but other pets were also to be considered. The reason for this was actually pretty adorable. The mayoral election in Idyllwild was designed to raise money for charity. Specifically, it was hoped that the election would benefit a local rescue shelter. If residents were inspired to adopt poor, unloved animals in the process, all the better. The election certainly helped raise the profile of local pets. All in all, 14 dogs and 2 cats were nominated for the position of mayor. While cats love being the center of attention, clearly they recognized that this office came with responsibilities, and that it was best suited to a more human-loving animal. In Idyllwild, there are no restrictions on the number of times a person can vote. In fact, voting multiple times is encouraged. Voting does come at a cost, though -$1 per vote, as a way to actually raise the funds for the local shelter. In the original 2012 election, the winner was a beautiful golden retriever named Max. This stalwart pup served the community well for around a year, before tragedy struck. Sadly, just a year after his initial election, Mayor Max passed away. It was time for another election to find his replacement. But who could fill Max's shoes? In Idyllwild's 2013 election, Max's nephew, Maximus Mighty Dog Muller II, took victory. This good dog has served faithfully in the position ever since, despite regular elections taking place each year. Max isn't alone in his mayoral duties. His human owner, Phyllis Muller, has been named his chief of staff to help with his duties. As Max was only a puppy when he was first elected, he needed all the help he could get. Everybody loves Max. He drives around town in a pickup truck plastered with his mayoral photos, and he's always eager to meet citizens and hear their concerns. There's no denying that Mayor Max makes Idyllwild a unique town. Being mayor means doing whatever needs to be done to ensure Idyllwild's safety. This even means donning a security jacket from time to time in order to protect people of interest, even if Max and his family members are never actually in any real danger. Alas, as with all dogs, Max sometimes gets sick. Nobody likes the cone of shame, but in spite of sometimes feeling itchy, Max continues to work hard, meeting and greeting people in the town. People come from far and wide to see Max. Even Ms. California has visited the canine mayor, which certainly made for an interesting photo op. Max has also been a guest on ABC7, appearing as part of a ceremony switching on local Christmas lights. His popularity means people love seeing him on the small screen. It's hard to argue with success. Now in his 5th term in office, Max has proven that there's nothing a human mayor can do that a pup can't do better, especially while wearing an adorable tie. If you enjoyed this story, then wait for our next story starting in 10 seconds. Life can be tough for a rescue owl. These proud birds are often very aloof and distant, and the stress of being cooped up and forced to spend time with humans can feel humiliating. One poor owl, though, formed an unexpectedly strong bond with her rescuer. Gigi the great horned owl got treatment at the Wild at Heart Rescue Center in Mississippi. When the man who'd initially provided her care left for a few days, she grew forlorn and upset. Upon his return, though, nobody could have anticipated just how affectionate Gigi would be. It stunned even professional owl experts when they saw this rescue owl's response to seeing a familiar face again. The Wild at Heart Animal Rescue Center in Mississippi is a phenomenal place. Every day, the center deals with all kinds of animals that, for whatever reason, end up in need of care. Some of their visitors are very special. There's no animal that Wild at Heart won't treat if they're in need. Some are more exotic than others, but no matter what, these hard-working rescue experts put in the time and care necessary to get these down-on-their-luck animals back to full health. One man at the Animal Rescue Center has a particular affinity for birds. While Douglas "Doug" Pojecki treats all kinds of animals, he's earned the nickname, the Bird of Prey Whisperer, for his ability to treat and care for many winged creatures that would rather be left alone. Life at the center is never easy. Every different type of animal needs specialized care, and not every creature manages to pull through. Nevertheless, Doug takes pride in doing his best to help these noble animals. No matter how big or small, every creature has a right to being treated and taken care of. And since Doug takes his job very seriously, many miracles happened thanks to him over the course of years. But there's one bird he will never forget. One animal that Doug will never forget was a beautiful horned owl named Gigi who came into his life a few years ago. While most owls are standoffish and aloof, Gigi and Doug formed a special bond that bore some very special fruit. Gigi never looked particularly comfortable in her cage. The poor bird had been admitted to the center following a severe concussion that left her acting strangely. Her body was also riddled with parasites, and it was clear that she wasn't in a good shape. In response to her injuries, Doug did his best to make her comfortable, wrapping her up to keep her safe. At first, she was less than thrilled at this treatment, but she soon warmed up to him. Soon Gigi realized that Doug's powerful arms were providing help. He was able to help her heal from a lot of her parasites, and provided medicine and care to get her back into good health. Doug even managed to convince Gigi to let him feed her by hand, which was no small task. The bird tried her best at eating unaided, but it quickly became clear that her concussion was so severe that she needed a little extra help. All of this feeding was very necessary. Gigi had developed pneumonia before being picked up, and as they worked to help her recover, she lost a full pound of body weight, which is a big deal, as her species normally only weighs between 2 and 5 pounds. According to Wild at Heart's founder, Missy Dubbison, this bird was one of the most critical we have ever taken care of. The fact that this bird has lived is beyond comprehension. It's no exaggeration to say that Doug saved Gigi's life. Before long, she was feeding herself, and putting weight back on, all thanks to the work of this heroic animal rescuer. But Doug couldn't stick around forever. Once Gigi was feeling better, he took some time off to visit family. Gigi continued to get better, but it was clear that she missed her friends. The other staff at the rescue center did their best to look after Gigi, and as she was past the worst part of her recovery, this wasn't too big of a deal. But soon, she'd be reunited with her favorite human friend. When Doug returned to greet Gigi after their time apart, he didn't really know what to expect. Would the owl recognize him at all? Or was he simply another human face, completely interchangeable with her other carers? It turns out that Gigi definitely recognized Doug. To everyone's surprise, she leant her head on his shoulder, and fanned out her wings in a loving embrace. Owl experts have never seen this kind of behavior before, as the birds are typically not affectionate. While owls shelter their young when they're small, this is very different behavior. Some suspect that Gigi is acting strangely following her concussion, but one thing is certain: she was definitely very happy to see Doug again. While Gigi has now been returned to the wild, Doug continues to work at the rescue center, treating all kinds of animals. But he says that owls, particularly Gigi, are very special to him.